Grandpa's dad came over to America. He was an immigrant from Germany on a boat. He stayed for a stint, and then his visa ran out. So he loaded back up on the port Galveston to head back to Germany. Well, he loved America so much, he jumped ship, stayed here, got his citizenship. At the time, my great-grandfather met my grandfather's mother, Helen. Grandpa didn't get to know Helen, his mother, very long. She died when he was very young of cancer. Grandpa's dad tried to find a couple ladies to help take care of the kids. Found a couple that didn't work out very well. He soon found May. May had a daughter named Mary, which is the same age as grandfather at the time, so it worked out pretty good. May and great-grandfather got married and had a house south of Dallas, almost to Lancaster, way out in the country back then. Grandpa said they were pretty poor. They had cows and chickens and a milk cow. Grandpa said one time that he was going to show his daddy, because they still had some feed left over, he could milk the cow. He said that was the worst thing he ever did because he was stuck milking the cow from then on, and then had to take it out to pasture. He would pick cotton long, hot summer days.
Yeah, we could pick July and August before school started. That's where I met Bunny to buy my school clothes. And then after that, to come home and milk the cow.
He also had some other adventures. He would take a local dairy cow because they would give away for free. He would take those cows, use the leftover milk from his milk cow, and sell it for $15. He did this 2 or 3 times, saved up enough money for a .410 shotgun rifle with a wood grain stock. He learned his business sense back then. He peddled ice cream, he peddled tomatoes in baskets, and he peddled all kinds of stuff to make some ends meet.
I'll tell you what, I tried a little bit of everything. I tried one summer peddling ice cream with a bicycle. They'd put a cart behind a bicycle with a dry ice in it, and you'd go peddling ice cream. Well, I couldn't make any money doing that, so I decided there's got to be a better way. And my dad had a place of business downtown, and so I was in high school then, or junior high, and I would go to town with him. I'd go down to the farmer's market. I'd buy 3 bushels of tomatoes. I'd take and peddle those tomatoes out, put them in little baskets, sell them for 25 cents, and sell those 3 bushels of tomatoes. I made good money doing that.
As a young man, he eventually graduated high school and went to the military. But he didn't just go to the military, he wanted to go ahead and volunteer. This was after the war had started and the draft was started. He said he didn't want to be drafted because you would end up being a foot soldier and you didn't have a say in where you would go. So he joined the Army Air Corps. He did training in Chicago and also Louisiana, and eventually ended up in Casper, Wyoming as a radio operator for B-17s and B-24 Liberators.
I took a piece in my leg here, but it was from a bomb exploding when they put it in the plane. Somewhere or other it disintegrated, and I got hit right here across this leg.
He enjoyed Wyoming. They would go dances and parties and get off at 3 o'clock, so he had time to go fishing and hunting. It was sad back then. He said he really enjoyed the job, but seeing all those crews fly over to Europe and Germany and get killed and never return really hurt him. He didn't really like to talk about the war. He was actually never in combat.
I went twice to England, and that was just, we ferried planes over and then all come back on one. And I got to do that twice. We were on a B-17. It was a long, hard flight, and but you were young, you didn't mind it. 20 years old, didn't make much difference. And I had to wear a heated suit. That's 35 below zero at 35,000 feet, about 30 below zero, and you'd have a heated suit. And sometimes it didn't work, and you'd freeze, see like you're gonna freeze to death. Well, you'd have a big old sheepskin jacket and a big sheepskin pair of pants, and it was hell to get around in. Yes, sir. I started to join the Navy. Just an inch of joining the Navy.
Ferry a couple of B-17s over to Europe and then come straight back. After the war, he came back to Dallas. He was working with a poster business during the time he met grandmother. The first time grandfather had seen grandmother on a date, Grandpa was with another woman. Grandmother stepped in the car with his buddy, and Grandpa looked in the rearview mirror and couldn't believe his eyes. He thought grandmother was the most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his life. He said he almost wrecked the car a couple times because he kept looking in the rearview mirror. They were going to White Rock Lake because it was flooded, and they all wanted to go see the floodwaters, so they enjoyed the date. Grandpa always wanted to ask Grandma out, but didn't want to make his friend mad. But eventually did, anyways, regardless of consequences. Grandmother was a nurse. Grandmother was the sweetest, special person. Hardworking, and kept Grandpa in line. They would take us out to events and watch my baseball games. Take Trey and I, my brother, out to Colorado, to Lake City and Uray and Denver, and ride trains and go camping on the motorhome. He would take the family boys who wanted to go deer hunting and supported us in every way. All along, Grandma and Grandpa were running an empire business of a Daubitz and Son upholstery. Grandpa at one time had 26 rent houses in Oak Cliff. He invested in the stock market, self-financed houses for people who couldn't afford it. He even built duplexes and had that as rental income. Also started Red Oak Self-Storage and had that for almost 20-something years. He was mayor of Red Oak for 2 terms and then on the city council. And then they were involved in the Lions Club for many, many years. Grandmother was the first president of the Lions Club of Red Oak. Grandpa and Carl, his son, eventually started building custom homes. I think they built a total of 30, as well as mine. Back in 1975, Grandpa purchased a lake house at Cedar Creek Lake for the family and put a trailer house on it in 82. It's still in the family to today. They would help anybody. We hear so many countless stories. Someone went homeless and needed a place. Grandma and Grandpa would put them in one of their duplexes at a super cheap rent. They were always willing to help anyone, as long as you were willing to help yourself. I don't understand how you can condense a man's legacy of 99 years. The only memory that you can carry on is the memories to the people that got the chance to meet you, know you, and love you. We're all going to miss you. We're all going to miss your stories. We're all going to miss your smile, your charisma, your giggles and laughs. We're going to miss you forever. You'll be inbred in us through DNA into the memories and happiness that you left us. We loved you so much. Everybody's going to miss you. I'm going to miss you. You and I have always had a special bond. We can spend hours upon hours with each other without ever a fuss. I do want to thank Naomi for helping take care of you and the rest of the family, especially the last 5 years. I know it wasn't easy. I know missing Grandma was not easy. And strived and tried to be the best person you could. You could always see it, the pain in your face. Anytime you got quiet, you knew, we all knew what you were thinking about. Life's too short. I always ask you if there's anything I can get you. The only thing you always reply back is, can you get me more time? I know. I'm sorry. And I love you. All my heart. You having fun? Are you having fun?
Loads of it.
Loads.
Really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Girl was.